Hey friends, in this video we're doing another book review on Chasing Love by Sean McDowell. Let's jump in. Now, this is one of my more recent reads, but it was really enjoyable and really practical in our current society. So, the title's Chasing Love, subtitle Sex, Love, and Relationships in a Confused Culture by Dr. Sean McDowell. And basically, this book tries to tackle the question, what is Jesus' sexual ethic? And what I really like about this book is that where other books on sexuality in a discussion on current culture and biblical ideas, is that some books start with this idea of don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. This is what you should be looking for. But really, in this book, it's not so much that ordering of things. Sean McDowell starts with this idea of what is Jesus' sexual ethic and what might that look like if culture actually played that out within society. So he starts with this big idea of why Jesus' sexual ethic might be appealing to us in our society. So Sean McDowell starts out the book with this idea of this invitation to God's design for sex, love, and relationships. And it starts with this beautiful picture and really how we have misconstrued God's design in these different areas and how that ultimately hurts and disappoints ourselves. So he's going to tackle many practical and really contemporary issues. He's going to talk about relationships, friendships. He's going to talk about singleness. He's going to talk about marriage. He's going to talk about sexuality, contemporary issues like transgenderism, LGBTQ, and other issues, but really even more than contemporary issues. He's talking about issues that we face for a long time in our own personal insecurity, our deep entrenched desire for love and affirmation and relationships with other people. So it's really close to, I think, everybody's heart and really answers a lot of questions that everybody wrestles with in our own search for relationships and love in our world. He tackles many contemporary issues that you might have asked yourself. Questions like, what does Jesus say about singleness? What is God's design for marriage and relationships? What does the gospel say about LGBTQ issues? Can sexual sin be forgiven? What does that look like? How far is too far? What does it look like to date well? And ultimately, what's it look like to care for other people well and to honor God in our relationships? And is that even feasible in our contemporary culture? So there are many great questions that I'm sure you've asked yourself that are going to come out in this book. Now, I like to judge books on their readability and their usability. To start, this book is 200 pages long and is divided into 30 chapters. Each chapter is roughly about 6 to 7 pages long, which is really nice. If you know anything about me, you know that my preferred chapter length is between 8 and 12 pages. I just can't stand having to stop a chapter in the middle because it's so long. And I really can't read for a long period of time because I'll lose focus because of my attention span. So this book really was a joy to read. These chapters were short. They were 6 pages long. As you can see, the inside is really attractive. Like their graphics, their things on every page, and the text is pretty big, which is really nice, refreshing, and just appealing to see and work through. With the fact that each chapter was like 6 pages long, I would often read at least two chapters, maybe even three in one sitting. And that's why I find that when chapters are shorter, I want to read more. When chapters are longer, I want to read less. So it was a joy to work through this book. And each chapter is really straight to the point. It's appealing, it's applicable, and I think it's close to our own experience. If it's something that I haven't gone through, then I definitely know someone else who has gone through the same thing. So I have these questions. These questions are really contemporary and prevalent, and I think for all of us, hit pretty close to home oftentimes. So as far as readability goes, I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5. The chapters are short, it's straight to the point, and the topics are really contemporary and interesting. It's something that all of us have questions about and really want more clarity on. This book is excellent on bringing clarity to contemporary questions that are complicated and that we don't know a sure answer to. Ultimately, by bringing God's design for marriage and love and relationships in view of these issues and trying to answer these questions in light of what we do know about God and Jesus' sexual ethic, even if there are parts of the Bible that don't necessarily come specific on these topics that maybe didn't even happen then, weren't even possible then with the rise of our technology and other things that we might experience now that maybe weren't experienced then. So 5 out of 5 on readability. As far as usability goes, I go back and forth. I want to give it a 4.5 out of 5 on usability. And the reason is that this is really going to impact your own experience and your decisions, and ultimately what you're looking for in life. It helps to set the right expectations of what we should want. And I felt like that's a question that lots of us have. Like, what should I want? What should I be looking for out of relationships? What should I be looking for in dating? What should I be looking for in a spouse? What should I be looking for in marriage? Should I even want marriage? Is it wrong to want singleness? What's it look like to live in singleness? And all these other questions about things that we might face in our culture that maybe we don't know what to think, we don't know how to talk about without hurting other people's feelings and coming across as bigots. So it's going to be very usable in your conversations and in questions that you have. So overall, this book is going to get a 9.5 out of 10 on my grading as far as readability and usability goes. It was truly a joy to read. It really brought a lot of clarity to questions that I had and really helped me better understand culture and sex and love and relationships and marriage in light of God's design and Jesus's sexual ethic. So I think that it's great because it helps bring love into often emotionally weighty conversations. It helps bring in beauty to a broken world where we're confused and we're hurt and we're just wrestling through lots of experiences that might taint the way that we talk through some of these issues. So I highly recommend that you go and pick up this book. It's very expensive. You can find it on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. But I definitely want to recommend that if you have questions about sexuality, about marriage, about dating, about relationships in general, about Jesus' sexual ethic, about difficult things you don't know what to think about, because it's just not all that clear, and you don't know what the absolute right answer is. Definitely worth picking up this book. Once again, chapters are short, 6 pages in length, big text, graphics. It's easy to read, and it's a joy to read. I think that once you start reading it, it'll be hard to set it down, even if you're not a reader. Like, I'm not that big of a reader, but I was hooked and engaged in this book. So definitely want to recommend that you go check it out. I'll leave a link below. If you want to see more book reviews just like this, then definitely want to stick around on my channel. Subscribe down below. Like this video just so that I know that you enjoyed it and that you're going to go pick up the book like you should. And then I'll know to keep pumping out more book reviews for you guys. So subscribe, share this video with someone that you think might be interested in the same concepts and ideas and teaching that this book might have. Having said that, stick around for more videos just like this, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.